Hi, I'm Sam. I wanted to take part in Donna's project because it's something that I think's really interesting and could be really good. Um, I have a lot of body issues. Most of them started, I think, when I was 12. I was diagnosed with epilepsy and put on some medication that didn't help my epilepsy but did cause a very quick weight gain, and completely changed my body with my control, which I found very difficult to deal with. So I could stop eating for a week and it would make no difference at all. Um, Although when I came off the medication, the weight dropped off, it then obviously gave me serious body issues at a very early age because I was left with stretch marks that I probably shouldn't really have had at that age. So that gave me a whole new level of low confidence, and yeah, didn't feel like I could really talk to anybody about it because I was so young. So none of my friends really had the same issues as me. I then had a diagnosis of a brain tumour at 13, which is what had been causing my epilepsy. That meant that I had to go into hospital and have surgery. At this age, that created a whole different way for me to look at my body because I had lost the weight that I initially put on with the medication, but now I was going to have my hair shaved off at a 13-year-old girl and have a massive whopping scar on my head. This was something that I couldn't, after when I was recovering, I couldn't look in the mirror because every time I was faced with a mirror, I would close my eyes and I would run past it in bathrooms, anywhere, because I didn't want to accept that it was real and they really had basically operated on my head. At the time, I found it really difficult. When I finally, after about 3 months of doing that, was able to look at it, I realised it wasn't that bad and began to accept it fine. But I think now I'm fine with I've been able to accept my scars and things like that because it's something that I can't control and it's there, and it's not changing, it's always going to be there, so I've accepted it. Whereas my weight, ever since I was young and I had the initial weight gain with the medication, and then since then my weight is something I can control, but I never seem to be able to do it in a healthy way. I was at my biggest a size 18, at my smallest a size 8. I went through a phase, I got quite big, and I went through a phase then of I decided I was going to lose weight. I decided that the way to do that would be exercise. So I started to exercise, and then that became quite addictive, made me feel really good, and then I started to see a change. So I had tried to go for a run, and then running seemed to be where I found, I don't know, I found something good in running. It made me feel good, it let me escape, and I instantly noticed weight drop off. That isn't always a good thing because that did become addictive because I suddenly found that I had total control over what my body looked like, and my initial goals changed with every inch that I lost or every stone that went. My goals changed as to what I wanted to be and when I was going to stop. And it got to the point where I was then became underweight, which had never happened to me before. I'd never had to deal with that in my life. I got to the point when I was underweight and I was running 10 miles a day with a gym workout along with that, eating probably a cup of soup and some lettuce, if that, feeling guilty every time I even thought about eating anything with carbs in it. And if I did eat something that was not in my daily plan, I would then run an extra hour on top or go to the gym for an extra hour to make up for it. I started to record everything I was eating and weighing it and making sure I had the calorie content. I had diaries of this. I then started to write down every single bit of exercise I was doing so that I could look at the calories I was burning off as well as the calories I was taking in. It became completely obsessive, and everyone around me was really worried, and they kept telling me that I was getting too thin or I was getting too seriously, or I was going to make myself ill. But obviously, I've now realised no matter how thin or big I am never happy with my body. What I see in the mirror is not a reflection of what I actually look like. I see someone that is big no matter what clothes size I happen to fit into. So intellectually at the time I knew, oh, this is a size 8 top and it fits me, so I can't be that fat. But when I looked at myself in the mirror in the top, even though I knew it was an 8, I didn't look like it. I didn't look like I was a size 8. I looked exactly the same as I was before, like nothing had ever happened to me. And I think the only reason that I'm not still in that position now is because I actually had an injury. I snapped ligaments in my foot, and that forced me to stop exercising, and then that I kind of had to look at myself and had to look at where I got to, and then realised that yeah, I'd lost all that weight, but along with that came a whole new level of self-consciousness, of not wanting to get bigger again. And I lost my boobs completely. My collarbone was disgusting. It stuck right out, my ribs stuck out, my chest bone stuck out, but I didn't see that as a bad thing at the time, whereas now looking back I can see that I didn't look very nice. I think I look better with boobs and with curves, but while I was in that mindset, all I wanted to do was be thinner, be thinner, be thinner. And then what scared me was the fact that as I got to lower than my target weight, I would still change it and be like, oh, well, I could be that bit lower. If I just restrict this bit, or I just do this extra 5 miles, then I could burn off that part. Now I'm at a position where my injury stopped me exercising. I have actually put on a bit of weight. I am now probably size 12 from the top, maybe 12, 14 on the bottom. I'm nowhere as big as I have been, but I'm not as small as I got to, and that's quite difficult to deal with. But my main body issue is my stretch marks, because I feel that at the age of 26, I haven't had kids. I shouldn't really have them, but I kind of couldn't really help that. It was nothing I did. Nowadays, at this age, I can control my body weight. I know I could stop eating as much if I wanted to, or I could run more, or anything like that, and that would control it. But when I was younger, when I was diagnosed and given the medication, I couldn't control it, and it was such rapid weight gain and then weight loss that my body was going to suffer for it. And now I have the physical side of a body that tells a very interesting story, and it's not one that I have learnt. It's not something I've learnt to accept, and I'm not sure whether I ever will learn to accept that at all. Yeah, so as you can see, I kind of like to decorate my skin with tattoos. That's something that makes me appreciate the areas that I'm not so happy with. I don't like them, so I decorate them. I don't know if that's a good thing, but it helps me through, so that's what I do. Yeah, I hope this helps Donna's project, or gives anybody a little insight into another person's experience, another woman's experience with her body and how she feels about it. I know that the way I felt about my body has changed dramatically throughout my life, but I've never been happy with it. Never been comfortable in myself or in my skin. And I don't think that's ever going to change no matter what size I am. But yeah, that's a wrap. Bye.